Hey everybody, look who we have on the screen. It is the Name Droppers coming to us live. So good to see the guys again back here on the Jim Masters Show live. Good evening, everybody. So great to see you guys here. We are on the cusp of some really exciting news. There's new music, and we're actually going to premiere some of it here exclusively on our show on the heels of their big music release, which is happening in Connecticut in Hamden, and I'm going to tell you where and when, how to get tickets and all the rest. That's just a couple of days from now. But guys, welcome. And what I'm going to do, instead of me doing my usual, 9-minute intro, I'm going to have each of you introduce yourselves and tell us your role within the Name Droppers. We're going to shake things up a little bit. So I'm the host, Jim Masters. All right.
I'm Bobby T. Torello.
Bobby T.
And I'm the drummer and singer part-time and writer. A lot of the songs were written by Rafe and myself, and that's who I am in this operation. Next.
And our director this evening is Bobby T.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How about Rafe?
You're Rafe.
All right,
Rafe's
I'll
been
go
here
next.
before too. Yeah.
My name's Rafe Klein, and I play guitar in the band. I write some of the songs, and that's about it. I guess.
Sing some of them too.
I sing.
Yeah,
I
you
sing and play guitar.
Yeah, there
Yes.
you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott Spray on the bass. I don't write many of the songs. I co-wrote one of the songs with Rafe on the last record.
There you go.
Those guys write a lot more than me. And I'm kind of the conductor in the studio. They write the songs. We go to record them, and I kind of make sure everybody's playing the right thing.
Right, and live. You're the rock. We're following you live, not just in the studio. So
Somebody's got to do it.
Takes a team.
It's not
Ron,
He's
welcome,
the music
Ron.
director. He's pretty much
Thank
the
you,
music
Tim.
director. Scott.
Okay,
Ron
Riff.
Rifkin, and I have been, another guy who's been playing for a long time in this band. I get to sing, I get to play. We help now and again. I help with the arrangements, sometimes the lyrics, but mostly, arrangements and then ideas for vocals. Always something to contribute with the harmonies and vocals going on. And there's a lot always going on as far as creativity, and I'm thrilled to be working with all of the guys I'm working with. It's a great mix, and we not only have a lot of fun, but there's a lot of good things going on.
Which is
musically.
very, very cool. I don't know if I asked you this last time, Ron. Do you have any affiliation with Larry Rifkin, who was the national programming manager for Connecticut Public Television? And he does a radio show on WATR in Waterbury. And his father years ago was the GM of that station. I
have heard the name, and I'm probably dating myself, but at one time he was a DJ.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was, either a PLR or one of the stations that I listened to. But no, those are the other Rifkins.
On the other side of the tracks. You never know, right? We're all brothers and sisters, as they say. So we're all related. How, for people watching for the first time and they're getting the first taste of the Name Droppers, and any one of you can take this. Initially, how was the Name Droppers, the band, formed?
Take it, Rafe.
All right. Well, it goes back almost 50 years, Jim.
Wow, that long.
Yeah. In the 80s, Charlie Karp he used to play with Buddy Miles. There you go. Charlie used to play with Buddy Miles, and they opened up for Hendrix and all that. And he started a band called Charlie Karp and the Name Droppers. It wasn't really a band. They did this record that we're looking at. They did the album, and they played out a little bit as Charlie Karp and the Name Droppers. And it wasn't until years later that I was working with Charlie, and we were recording, and we started working with Bobby T, and of course Ron was in the band. And we weren't exactly sure what to call the album. Was it going to be Charlie Karp and Friends? And Charlie said, well, I always like Charlie Karp and the Name Droppers. So we started using that again. Charlie Karp and the Name Droppers, or the new Name Droppers. And then Charlie passed away in July 2019. So we were the band, and we decided to keep it going. So instead of Charlie Karp and the Name Droppers, that's how it became the Name Droppers. And it's still very present in the band, the fact that Charlie had this group of people that had played with notable musicians like Tiger McNeil was in with maybe it was Jose Feliciano later, but there were guys that played with certain people, and that's the thing that's going on now with the band because Scott and Bobby have both played with Johnny Winter at different times. Edgar Winter, Scott played with Felix Cavalieri, played with
Felix and the Rascals. Yeah, he was on the show. He's the nicest guy on the planet, huh?
Felix is a wonderful guy.
He
I work
really
with Gene
is.
as well. Gene, the guitar player. Both great guys.
Both terrific, yeah. So that's and how was the name picked? The Name Droppers. Was there anything behind the name?
Yeah, well, Charlie picked a bunch of guys that had played with other notable musicians, and of course, Charlie used to drop names like Hendrix and Buddy Miles, and so Charlie was, a name dropper, and that's how we started with the name, and we just kept it.
Tell us, we'll do a little round robin here. Again, a lot of people watching around the world right now who might be getting a taste of your group, and you're all incredibly epic musicians, singers, producers individually, and when you are the Name Droppers. Give us a little background on your individual backgrounds. Rafe, I'll start with you.
All right. Well, my background kind of starts with Charlie 15 years ago, and he was my mentor and guitar teacher, and eventually I started playing in the band, and that was Charlie Karp and the Name Droppers. I'll give you a little history on Bobby T. Bobby was Michael Bolton's drummer.
That's right.
He was Johnny Winter's drummer. Black Oak, Arkansas, which, by the way, I want to give a shout out to all my friends in Arkansas. My buddy Andy McClish, I think he's tuning in. Dennis Rogers from KASU. Bobby, also Grace Slick, he played with.
Here, let me just get back to my goal was to play with Johnny Winter, and a band from Mississippi asked me to join, and I heard that Johnny was in the Nut House in New Orleans, and this is in 1972, and I said, well, this is the way I'm going to find Johnny Winter. So I moved down to New Orleans, I'm playing with this band, and I meet another band who, on the weekends, Johnny would come out and jam with these guys, and I did some recording with these guys, and we sent the tapes to Johnny Winter. Long story short, we started he says, you get that drummer and get another guitar player and I'll produce your band. And their nickname for me at the time was Thunder. So we called the band Thunderhead. And we did an album with Johnny. The music business screwed us. And we had to can that album and do another one. A lot of problems. Anyway, the album came out. We had the wrong management. Things didn't go right. So we went for 3 years, and then I left the band. And in the interim, the band that I went down south with was David and the Giants. We had opened up for Black Oak, Arkansas. Their drummer left. Their whole band left. And they had seen me. Of course, they seen me play because I was in the opening act. I got into Black Oak, Arkansas. I was in the band 6 months, and they offered me a deal. And at that time, I was already working with Johnny, and he said, use my lawyers, and we became the best of friends, Johnny and I. So the deal they wanted me to sign was outrageous. Johnny said, here, I'll match it. If they'll give you like 50 grand, then go with them. Well, they wouldn't give me. What's all that rackety noises going on? Anyway, they wouldn't do it. So then I was boom. Then I left Thunderhead, and I was in Black Oak for 6 months, and then that didn't work out. Then I finally was playing with Johnny Winter in 1976. And that happened. Yeah, and then I got the call from Grace Slick to do her record. Then they wanted me to tour with her. I was going to do that. They put her back in the Starship. After that, Michael Bolton, we did the MTV video. That started to break. So I left Johnny to play with Michael Bolton. And we did the United States tour opening for Bob Seger. And the rest is history.
Yeah, it's incredible, folks.
There's a little bit of my history.
It's
and in between that, you play with different bands. I had a band with Craig McGregor from Foghat called Nosmo King, and we auditioned for every record company. It didn't happen. I was in another band with Richard T. Bear and Lawrence Juber from Wings.
Great guys.
Yeah.
They've been on our show. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you know Bear, he's a great guy.
Yeah, and Lawrence Juber too.
So, yeah. Well, we had a band together called Joker, and we had Catch a Rising Star, Newman and Fields, which was Pat Benatar's manager. That was our manager. And anyhow, we rehearsed for 6 months, and we auditioned for every record company in New York City, and nobody wanted us. So that ended that band. But things happen.
Things happen.
Yeah.
What a great trajectory there. Absolutely.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. How about you, Scott?
Well, speaking of Bobby, I've known Bobby 50 years. Bobby was with Johnny Winter. I was with Edgar Winter at the time. But that was my first major tour was Edgar Winter. We did about 5 records. Between him and Johnny, I ended up doing playing with the Chambers Brothers, Ronnie Spector, Jose Feliciano, the guys from the Blues Brothers, and on and on. And of course, Felix Cavalier, and then Gene Cornish just a few years ago from the Rascals. We had a band with him. But I'm a studio guy. I'm a studio guy.
What was it like working? She was actually a dear, close family friend of ours, and I've known her for years. Ronnie Spector. What was it like working with Ronnie Spector, who we just lost 2 years ago?
It was a thrill. I worked with her 1990, 1991 into 92. I got the gig with her, and our second gig was Madison Square Garden. So I thought, this is pretty cool.
A little dump.
So I said to my wife, come to New York with me. We're playing the Garden. She said, I'll watch it on TV. And she did. She didn't even come to. I've seen the show. I've seen you play. But that was. She was a wonderful person. Her husband was the manager. If you remember Jonathan, he was managing her. I went in the studio with her, did a couple of things that were sent over to Japan. We didn't do any releases here though. But she was great to play with. I really enjoyed her. And I always asked her stories about her ex-husband, of course, Phil.
Phil Spector,
yeah, Phil Spector. And every story was wilder than the next. He gave her a car, but he didn't want her to be alone. So we put a dummy that looked just like him sitting in the car next to her. So when she drove, people would think he's in the car and not bother her.
Her mother came to get her, and they were able to run out barefoot out of the mansion, and she took her away, her mother, back east.
Yeah. Oh, it was. I mean,
and then Billy Joel wrote the song for her, "Say Goodbye to Hollywood."
Oh yeah. I did a week with Billy as well, for that matter, and he mentioned that "Say Goodbye to Hollywood" was for Ronnie.
Was for her.
Eddie Money wrote that song for her. If you remember that. Just like
Take Me Home Tonight.
Take Me Home Tonight.
Another one.
So I worked with Eddie, and then Ronnie, of course. But I'm just an old timer. I've probably done about 1,000 records as a bass player of different people. That's my job. And I met Rafe, and I met Ron Rifkin a couple years back playing with Charlie Karp when they called me to ask me to come and play on the record, and that's how I got with the name droppers. At that, I already knew Bobby. Like I say, and I had known Charlie 40, 50 years ago. I played on a record that his 2 sisters recorded, and they hired me to play on their record back in 1970. I don't want to say 70 what. Give me an idea how old I am. 78. Yeah. So I'm the studio guy.
That's it. So you ever have any interaction with Leland Sklar over the years? Never
met Leland. I've talked to him on the internet. We've back and forth. We share some stories. Oh, what a wonderful guy. If you think I played on a lot of records, that's 1,000. Yeah. That's pretty good. He's played on 2,000. There you go.
Yeah.
And pretty much them all too.
He was with us not that long ago. And like you said, a very, very nice guy, very talented. And, you guys bust your butts to do what you do, because it's not a 9-to-5 job by any means. And you got to really love it to do what you do. Ron, how about you? And I love your hat, Ron. I'm a hat guy. I love your hat.
Oh yeah.
Well, thanks. I try to
Ronnie's
Well,
always
different
got a
hats
hat
for different days. We got a collection going. So I would
Tell us about the hat, Ron.
Okay, well, I had not met 20 years ago, but honestly, I've been, you know, like a lot of guys playing around. I've done this a long time, but it's funny because Charlie and I played together in the early 80s, speaking of names, with Mark Epstein, who also went on to play bass with Johnny Winter, with Tiger McNeil, who we know. And we worked out for a couple of years in the early 80s. Also at the same time, I was working out with Christine Allman. In her band, she had the Soul Rockers, or and then Rep Montez, and working with her and having that experience, and that was another fine experience. So it was only years later that I got reunited with Charlie through another friend who was engineering Charlie's projects, and we talked. He gave me a call, and same thing. Come in. We had a show, I think, before the studio, Rafe, if I remember. We did the FTC, the Fairfield Youth Theater. And so I got back with Charlie after years, and like a lot of fellas, you know, I don't have Scott or Bobby's story. I've never rubbed elbows with who I call the bigs, you know, the Johnny Winters, the big stars. I've rubbed elbows with a lot of guys who've rubbed elbows with the bigs. But you know, I've had the pleasure of playing with a lot of these other people, and they're great players. And it's what I was always suspected, because when you play with the people like Bobby, like Scott, like Rafe, their attitudes are so much better. You hear the horror shows about playing with, you know, around town in certain clubs and this, you know, how you get treated here. I've had nothing but great experiences playing with these fellas and a lot of the related situations. So it's been great. I've been able to use what I have and give what I have to the situation.
And it's a pleasure playing with you, Ronnie.
Oh, thanks for saying, Bobby. I do the
you're
best.
Welcome so much. Where'd the pizza go from the other night?
Hey, Bobby.
I think the DJ grabbed it.
I think is your hands near the microphone?
No.
Is that your watch? There's something that clicked.
That's my watch.
Something is making that
Let me take
noise.
the watch off. No, was it the watch? No.
It was definitely the watch.
It's quiet watch now.
Yeah.
You know
so maybe it was interfering with his mic, you think?
Oh, no, it's back. Yeah.
No, not the watch.
It's a little better, though. It's better without the watch.
It's a little percussion.
What is that noise?
Seems to happen.
It's like a feedback, I think, coming from the phone, maybe.
Earlier.
He might have to wear headphones so he doesn't give that feedback. Could be what it is from the phone.
But headphones, that'll mess my hair.
That's it. We can't. It took an hour to get that together.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
So we have some cool things here that you guys have been generous enough to send our way, and a lot of this is world premiere exclusive. And I know that you wanted to really debut this on our show, which I think is fantastic, because for many of you, this is a return visit to the Jim Masters show, which we really, really love. And we've got some clips here. We've got a couple of promo pieces. First with Starshine. Before we show this, it's just a short little teaser. Tell us about Starshine, and congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Go ahead, Rafe.
Thanks. Starshine is just the title track to the album, and we named it after that. And Bobby and I wrote the song. We thought it had a really good hook, and it's got some really strange lyrics of somebody that had a dream, and but it's really got a really cool riff to it, like a Muscle Shoals kind of Wilson Pickett guitar and bass line, and we built it from there.
Now, the name of it, how did you pick it? Is there anything behind the name?
No, I don't know. Just something that sounded cool.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
It's whatever the listeners want it to be, right?
Whatever, yeah. Something I saw. Oh, that's.
They make it.
I went over to Bobby's house and I started playing, and I went Starshine, and Bobby said, "Could have been the moonshine." I said, "Oh, that's good.
We got it right."
Starshine, and then, then we kind of worked the lyrics to improve the lyrics based around that. Once we had that cool hook.
That is cool.
It's
we
weird,
got a little
writing songs. Go ahead, writing songs. There's no real set format of how we do it. Somebody has an idea. But usually, I've got a little bit. Rafe has a little bit. and we just put it together. And within a few days, we've got a few songs. We're fortunate that we really gel well together. And with Ronnie and Scott, it makes life a lot easier. So songs just kind of flow. We're very fortunate. We really got a nice little operation here. Go ahead, run the song. Let's hear it.
All right. Here it is, gang. Our associate producer, Bobby T, said, cue that song. Here it is, gang. World premiere here on Jim
Thank you,
Master's show.
Jim.
Little bit of a clip of Starshine, the newest material from these guys, the Name Droppers.
Starshine, starshine. Could have been the moonshine. Could it be? Soul shine, soul shine. Starshine, starshine. Could have been the moonshine. Could it be the moonshine? Soul shine, soul shine.
Really
Short.
nice guys. Really
Short song.
nice. Yeah. You guys obviously have a good time together and it's a good vibe. I know blues rock band, but how do you describe the Name Droppers sound? That's just a little clip. We got a couple more to show, but how do you guys describe it?
I think
Good question.
blues rock. Go ahead.
I would say that drum and bass have a lot to do with it. That's a big part of it. And obviously guitar and piano, but they're not overbearing. It's really got a lot of drum and bass is really present. And I think that lyrics are important, and we try to get the best lyrics and the best harmonies. I don't know. I guess any band would say that, but I would say bass and drums is a big part of our sound.
Well, you know what I like is when Rafe or Bobby or somebody writes the song, whoever writes the song, usually Rafe will say, here's me singing with the guitar, strumming along, and Bobby and I will go in and cut bass and drums and to set the thing up. And once we've done that, he never tells us what to play. He'll tell us if he doesn't like it, but he hasn't said anything yet. So once Bobby and I play, and then that gives you the direction of the song, and then Ron comes and plays on top of that. Everybody sings on top of that. But we have a lot of leeway. But I mean, to me, it's an R&B, blues, pop kind of band. It's not techno pop. It's not jazz. It's not funk. It's not straight blues to me by any means. I played with Johnny Winter for 15 years. That's straight blues.
No, yeah,
This is not straight blues.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Scott,
this is more pop, more hooks, more it's more commercial.
I
To
think
me,
the
it's
harmonies set us apart from being just a blues band,
yeah, blues band. They don't sing harmonies. Nobody sings harmonies.
Yeah, nobody sings harmonies. No, but
Yeah.
so
That's
I
a
woke
good
up
thing.
this morning.
I'll tell you what, we have a lot of fun with this band, and it shows in the music. It's really it's right out front how much we enjoy playing with each other. I think it all comes out right in our music.
You can tell, right? We've got another clip to show here too. We want to show this one. This clip here, maybe you guys want to do a little bit of a setup with it too. This is Shades of Blue. Tell us about this one.
It's Rafe. That's Rafe's baby.
Shades of Blue is a song that I co-wrote with Andy McClish, who lives in Arkansas now. He used to live in Connecticut. And it's probably one of the songs on the album that's less blues, more Americana. It's got a little soulful taste to it. And it's one of the slow songs on the album. And it was actually a song that was going to go on our last album, Blue Diamonds. And it may have had a different name to it. And just as we were about to release Blue Diamonds, somebody suggested that maybe that album could be a little more blues and a little less rock. So we ditched Shades of Blue for Blue Diamonds, and I think we did Red House or something like that to make it more blues. And so when we were putting together the songs for Starshine, that was there. So we added that, and I think it fits. I think it fits nicely with the album.
Cool. Let's take a listen to that right now. We've got a little clip here for everybody. The name droppers are here live on the Jim Masters Show. Thanks for all the great comments we see coming in. We've been sprinkling a few of those on the screen for you here as well. Good to have everybody with us watching, all of our lovely squad watching from around the world. Here's Shades of Blue.
Down on my love that shines from you, shines so bright, shades of blue. There's a light that shines from above, let it shine down on my love, down on my love.
Really nice, guys. Really, really nice. You know, you mentioned the other album, the other music, Blue Diamonds. Tell us about that, too. That's another one that is well received. There it is there, Blue Diamonds. And I believe that's garnered quite a few awards, too, hasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, well, Blue Diamonds was released not even a year ago.
Right.
It was released last August. And it did very well on the blues rock charts and the Roots Music Report for blues rock. It was on blues for a while, but mostly blues rock. And it was on the charts for the entire year. And
we actually had a #1 song on there, and I am going to toot my own horn because I wrote it and I sang it. All right.
Right.
A song called Hollywood. You don't have that, do you?
That one we don't have. The other one we do have, I don't believe from that, but that was sent is Can't Take It With You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That one.
It's on Starshine.
Yeah.
So Blue Diamonds did pretty well, and it continued to chart all the way through the first quarter of 2023. And you mentioned an award. We were lucky enough to be nominated by the New England Music Awards for the category of Best Blues Band. And I don't think anybody in the band thought that we had a shot at that, but I think we ended up winning it. We were lucky to get that. I think that obviously the album Blue Diamonds had a lot to do with it.
That is really cool. Did you want to set up the next clip that we have here, which is another great one? I got a chance to preview all of these the other day when they were sent to us. Can't Take It With You. Again, these are all for everybody that's watching. This group you're looking at here of incredibly talented guys have been gracious enough to allow us to show these to you in this sort of world premiere setting, because they're getting ready to go out and have a big release party and get this music out to the public. But we're showing it to you a little bit in advance, which is really something very special that they did for our show, which we really appreciate, guys. Tell us about Can't Take It With You.
Well, Can't Take It With You, as far as the song, that's blues. It's straight blues. There's no doubt about that. There's no bridge. There's no harmony, right, Scott?
There's no harmony this way. That's
There's
correct.
no harmony, right? I didn't even think about that. Not a lot of harmony in blues. But in terms of just a 1-4-5 progression, there's no. It's definitely straight blues, and it's a funny song, tongue-in-cheek song, and I had this idea for a video to have each of the guys in one of the verses. So Ronnie's in the first verse. It's talking about you've been slaving and saving, and you can see Ronnie working in his shop, you know. And the next one is Bobby's going through his safe because the name of the song is "Can't Take It With You." It's about money. And the last verse, you see Scott on the internet finding out how about estate planning and getting a will and all that. And so we recorded it at a place called 10 Selden with a little bit of a well, I guess it's funny. I'll let the viewer decide if it's funny or not. But we got a little funny little intro that has to do with the name of the song, which is "You Can't Take It With You." So,
anybody else want to add anything to it before we show it?
Nope.
No, just remember, you can't take it with you. That says it all.
That's it. We're following Bobby's lead tonight. He said nope, so we're going to play it right now.
There you go.
He's our associate producer for the evening, our guest associate producer. I love it. Can't Take It With You. The name droppers here on the Jim Masters Show. Hope you guys are loving what we're talking about here. Here is that clip.
Can I help you?
hi, we're here for the rehearsal space.
What is the name of your band?
Name droppers.
Oh, whatever. All right, you guys are all set. You got a full back line, one sound engineer, 2 hours.
All right, come on, let's go. Let's go.
Yep, that'll be $500.
How much?
$500.
Come on, let's go.
Hold on a second. $500.
Pay him.
$500.
Can't take it with you.
You've been slaving every night until the dawn. You've been saving up, don't take too long. You can't take it with you, can't take it with you when you're gone. Don't you cry when your money's all wrong.
Can't take this.
When you die, you'll only pass them along. You can't take it with you, can't take it with you when you're gone. Thinking one day you know you'll pass on. You've been wishing that your door lasts as long. You can't take it with you, can't take it with you when you're gone. You can't take it with you, can't take it with you when you're gone. Can't take it with you when you're gone.
Really fantastic, guys. Yeah, huh? Wow.
Thank you.
How long did it take to put the song together, to do it all, and to mastering, just get the whole thing together? It's a great song.
20 minutes.
Really? Wow. And I like Bobby in the beginning. Okay, let's go. Let's get it going. Pay him.
Is that not him? Is that not him? No, he wasn't acting, right?
No, that's
He's doing it right now. Yeah. Let's go.
Come on.
time is money. Come on. There's a train to catch, right? There's a train to catch.
No time for lollygagging. Let's go.
What's it? When you're playing together, when you're collaborating, when you're creating art like that, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of stuff that goes in. So much of you is in it all. What is it like? Is it like a brotherhood? Do you become not only, colleagues and fellow compadres who are very talented? Do you become like brothers in a way? You're rooting for each other. You're supporting each other. You're lifting each other up so you can create excellent sound like that. What's it like for you guys?
I mean, for me, it makes it so much easier, because life sucks a lot of times, and things are very tough, especially the way the music business is nowadays. And so, at least when you got four people, that's very hard that you find four people that really get along like we do. And so the whole thing to me is, yeah, it's good. It's a real good feeling, and it comes out in our music, I think. Anybody else?
Yeah, Scott, how do you feel, Scott?
Well, I feel the same way, and at the same time, I do have to say it's not like we're not on the road together. We're in the studio. We do gigs together. We've known each other. We've all been in bands. Bobby's been on the road for years. I was on the road 30 years. You have to like the people you get along with, or tolerate them. They got to tolerate you. But we all get along just kind of naturally. So that's good. So this band could go on the road. We could get along.
Yeah.
But a lot of bands can't. A lot of bands break up just because of personality. It's not the music. It's not
it's the people.
It's not who's a better player. It's can you stand the guy you're talking to? And a lot of times you can't stand to be in the same room with these people. That's not the case with this band. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Ron?
I was just going to say, I think we've all had our share of being with people that you probably wish you weren't. But that is not the case here. And again, when you play with guys who have the experience that Bobby and Scott, and I've known Scott for quite a while, and even Bobby and Rafe, we've all worked together intimately for a while now. So it just seems it's almost a natural occurrence. If things happen naturally, you're not efforting to make it better. You're not it's not a marriage you're working on, going to counseling. It's something that just naturally, it's very organic. It happens naturally. And then probably just the melding of whatever personality and our own attitudes that we have. So it's more of a natural fit, I would say.
That's great. Everybody has their unique personalities, but then it blends together. And Rafe, how about you?
Yeah, I think that the band, we definitely are good friends, and we've become even better friends over the last 4 years, which is very important, like what Scott said. And I think that there is a lot of energy with us when we're performing. Not so much in the studio, yeah, it's a little bit different, but when we're performing, we kind of feed off each other. I think the Name Droppers have a really good even distribution of talent. And I think we all respect each other, respect the talent that each one of us has, which is different. And, I don't think this is our fourth album. I don't think the band has peaked yet. I think we're still going up. So I think things still get better from here.
What's, we've had a lot of people come through here, and they always talk about and that brotherhood of surviving everything, setting up the stage and the rehearsals and getting everything perfected when you're on tour, but even working in the studio. But when you are on tour or you're going from place to place, there's always these stories of some crazy things that happen sometimes on the bus or whatever it may be. Any interesting stories of times out on the road that stick out for you guys?
Yeah, but we're all married, so lighten up.
We don't do anything like that anymore.
No, I'm only kidding.
Go
ahead, moving right along.
Oh, enough about me, right? No, it's the humor. I tell you, I don't know. Maybe you should charge double for the tickets because Bobby's humor is so spot on. It's like, and the viewers are saying that they're like, "We love Bobby." He's just like, he cuts to the chase, gets to it, right? How about you guys? Anything you remember that stands out for you?
Scott, you have anything? You have any stories with being on the road with Johnny?
We've all got a million. I got a million stories of being on the road with Johnny Winter, Edgar Winter, Ronnie Spector, all that. But that's got nothing to do with this band,
Right.
because we're not yet on the road with this band. We'll do gigs. We're in the studio. This band has actually been in the studio, not just making our own 4 records. We backed up 4 or 5 other artists. I was in the studio last week with Ron recording for somebody else, with Christine Ullman. Bobby and I recorded with somebody else's record. The bunch of us recorded with for Pidgey, this other record we did, this woman. So we act as a unit in the studio. You know, they hire us as the band. Oh, let's get the name droppers to cut our record, whatever. But I can't say we did anything. We haven't gone streaking. We haven't done anything crazy with this band. As I could tell you about the old 70s and 80s, but I don't think I want to go back that far.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I like to forget about that. Yeah, we're normal guys.
So for those of you who were hoping they were going to do that and it would be another world premiere, not on this episode, gang. You mentioned Christine Ullman. She's a star herself. We've had her on the show several times. I know her personally, and she's an amazing talent and an amazing lady, isn't she? Huh? Love working with her.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, sure. Sure. Like I said, we've all Ronnie, myself, Bobby, we've done a record by a woman named Pidgey that was brought to the studio by Christine. Christine's on the record. She was friends with Pidgey.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, she in New York, Long Island, or Pidgey, I think.
Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
She's from Long Island originally.
Long Island. Yep, Pidgey.
But then last week, Ronnie and I were in the studio with Christine with another artist that she brought in. No, it's the same people. We're the same people playing on a lot of records. You just don't know it, you know. But it's us backing up everybody. So,
exactly right. Exactly.
That's what we do.
We were the
Ron, you wanted to add anything to that, Ron?
We're like our own little wrecking crew here. Hard.
I was going to say, right?
We're not on
yes.
Album all over, but we've done a lot of work for other things together. We've done different work together.
Have any of you, because I know a lot of people who've come through have mentioned they've also done, you mentioned session work, working with other people. Anybody ever touched into the world of jingles? That's always been a big area, the jingle world. You did?
Rafe and I started to work on some jingles and a couple of things, but nothing really ever panned out about it. And I don't know. I think they just took it, and I don't know what happened with our little jingles. What happened, Rafe? What happened?
That's a work in progress, Bobby. It's a work in progress.
Oh, okay.
So it still may happen. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what Bobby's talking about. There was a song that somebody was looking for something for Connecticut, and they had a slogan, "Say yes to Connecticut."
Oh, yeah. So like the state slogan and the commercials.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like some kind of opportunity that we had. And so Bobby and I just got right to it, and we came up with what I think is we were just talking about it the other night.
It is great.
Really cool. And then we found out that the person that had this opportunity, they had changed, and they changed the slogan, and they didn't want that. We already wrote a song based on that slogan, so it didn't happen. But it still could happen. We might just do it just because we love Connecticut and we love that and we like that song. So we might just do that. Scott, you were going to say something.
You were going to say something about Jingle World.
Well, no, I have a different take on the jingles back in the 80s, 90s. I played on about 50 jingles.
You did?
If you see Coca-Cola, Trumbull Shopping Park, Mohegan Sun, Toy Story 2, the movie. I mean, I played on all that stuff. That's what I do. Sex and the City, I wrote music for. The Today Show.
Today Show too, really? Wow.
That's for about 10 years, yeah. Wow, I mean, I sang on that too, yeah. Everybody, they kill me because I don't sing in the band, but I sang on the Today Show for 10 years.
Yeah, that's got to stop.
Go figure. But, of course, these guys are not paying me residuals to sing in the band the way the Today Show paid me residuals for 10 years, you know.
That's not too bad.
Back in the day, we did a lot of that stuff. I'm on movie soundtracks, jingles, whatever, all kinds of stuff.
Unbelievable. How about you, Ron? Did you dabble in that?
Years and years ago, I had a chance to do something for. There was a local store called Paint Products, so we put together some music for that. But nothing that I can recall since then. I get contacted once in a while to put something together, music for a parody or something. But that's nothing like what Scott or the other fellows have.
You guys have been in the industry a long time, and again, conversations I've had with others who've come through here, and my conversations with people I've interviewed on PBS, the music industry itself, getting the music out to the people, the way everything happens has changed dramatically. And now with the Spotify's and the downloads, and well, I forgot who we had. It was somebody that was on like 2 weeks ago, a legendary person that it was like, yeah, you know, I asked them that question and they were like, oh my God, I gotta like have 1 million downloads just to make $11. It's really changed. How do you guys feel about, I mean, the music is accessible now because of the downloads and all, but how do you like the way it is? We used to go to Tower Records and spend hours with the headphones sampling and touching everything, and a lot of that has gone away. How do you guys feel about the changes?
I hate it.
Well, you know, I don't think anybody likes it, but but we're realists and we're realizing that it's evolving. The world is evolving, and I don't think it's going to go back to the other way. So they're right. You need 1 million streams to make $1,000 or whatever.
Less than that. You know, you
mean make $100? Yeah.
But I have to tell you, Jim, one of the things that is helping our album, which is going to be released in 2 days, Starshine, is the radio promotion, and there are hundreds of blues playlists and blues DJs all over the world and in the country and a lot in Europe that want a physical CD. They want to hold the actual record. And they play, and that's how they play it. And by getting a lot of spins, it's already being played on by about 50 different radio stations already. And it comes out on Friday. And there are some people that do want to get the record. They can order it on Amazon.
So they want the vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah. When I say record, I mean CD. We thought about vinyl.
Yeah. I still say record. Right. It's right. I say it for everything. Right.
So people are actually purchasing the CD. Because if you go to our website, you can purchase it. You can also stream it on our website, which is thenamedroppers.net. I'm sure you'll ask me about that later. But
yes,
you know, yes, it is all about the streams, but it's also it's not always about that. It's a lot of it has to do with getting into the right radio DJ's hands.
It really is. And is that easy to do?
No, it's not easy to do.
Nothing's easy.
You have to have somebody that does promotion for that and that gets it out to the right people. And you also have to be in the right genre to work with that. We did it a few times where I think we were in the wrong genre. We had somebody that may have been promoting jam, but we're a soul band. So right now we've got somebody, her name is Betsy Brown. We're also working with Anita. And we have people that are able to get it to the right DJs to get reviews, to get spins. And it's not easy to do, but I think over the last couple of years, we've been lucky to find a niche and to find the genre, which is blues and blues rock.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. And you're reaching also a whole new audience too, right? There's a lot of people who maybe didn't grow up with this sound, but when they see you guys and they go to a performance or they pick up the music or download the music, they're hearing this kind of sound sometimes for the very first time. So you're reaching, it's a multi-generational thing, isn't it?
Right. It can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think there are some young people that are starting to get into blues and blues rock.
Which is great, isn't it? You know, so you guys are, and there's the site, thenamedroppers.net. We wanted to update it. I think we had .com earlier, but it's .net, right, Rafe?
Yes, it is.
.com, but it's .net.
.net.
Okay, so make sure you go to .net. Who knows where .com takes you? We take no responsibility. .net. They're going to cast a net over you. .net. And coming up, the first, which is the first of them, the big album release celebration, the 16th. That's the Cellar on Treadwell Street, Hamden, Connecticut. What's that going to be like as you do that? They're great people. I did a TV shoot there actually showcasing the cellar, and that is a great place for people to go for, you know, good food and good music.
Yeah, we've played there a couple of times in the past. We haven't been there in a while, and we're really excited about doing an album release show there. They've got some good food. They have a great stage, great lighting. You can see the stage from anywhere at the place, and we think it's going to be a good show. We're not having an opener, so we're gonna do 2 sets, which is something that we don't always do. And we're gonna perform the album. And
yes, we do have an opener. Me and you, Rafe. We're doing an acoustic tone. Huh?
that's right. That's right.
We're
We're opening for ourselves.
We're doing a song that I wrote, and Rafe and I are just going to do a duet with 2 guitars and acoustically, and it's going to be wonderful.
That is cool. That is cool.
So we're
did you know that in advance, or did you just learn that now, Ray?
I am that kind of guy. You know that, right?
It was at another world.
Surprise.
That was another world exclusive.
We planned it since Monday.
That's how I find these things out, Jim. Thank God I showed up to the
You
meeting.
hear it here first on the Jim Masters show, even amongst yourselves.
We planned it. It's been planned since Monday. All right.
Yeah.
That
Another
is
thing
funny.
is, I'll say one thing about the performance. Recording an album and going into the studio and mixing it and fixing it and doing all this is one thing. But then when you want to play it and perform it, you have to almost learn it in a totally different way. How are we gonna do this live without overdubs? And so you actually have to learn how to play the songs.
You have to edit what you do. You have to edit, I would say.
What's that, Ronnie?
I say you'd have to edit. We have to decide, edit what we want to put in, what's the most important parts to be there. And we usually do a pretty good job of that. You know, we've done that a couple times, and I'm sure it'll come out fine, if I may. So
yeah, I think it's going to be good.
You know, a lot of times, sometimes, you know, when everything's being mastered and processed and produced, sometimes it's some of the music of today is so overly produced, it almost loses the textural sound of the singer's voice. It doesn't even almost sound like them, you know, the auto tune and all these other things that are done. And I imagine you guys try to keep everything as authentic as can be with your sound, right?
Exactly.
Organic.
Yeah.
Very organic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no auto tune on these records.
No,
Right.
We don't use auto tune. That's for people that can't sing. And if I told you some of the people that use it, you'd be shocked because they're at the top of the charts.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
I watched a couple of videos on that and I learned a lot about that process. How there are a lot of people who they actually took Judy Garland singing Over the Rainbow, and they played the original, and then they played what it would be like if it was auto-tuned in the way that society wants things to sound,
The way they do it now.
and the way she sang it, as phenomenal as it wasn't necessarily perfect, but it was incredible and it was natural and it sounded exactly the way it should. But if it was to be auto-tuned or sweetened up according to that technology and that method and what people are used to, she wasn't on track, which I found to be really amazing. And they played it for a couple of people and they preferred the non-auto-tuned original version of her
absolutely.
singing.
What she
that.
did was heartfelt.
Imagine
It takes-
toying with a song like that to try to make it.
It takes
into-
the real feel out of the song. The real feel for what you're doing. It goes away. It's machined.
Yeah,
I mean, that's AI. Here we go.
right.
Yeah, it takes all the warmth and the soul out of what's going on. So we
Right.
avoid that.
Exactly. If you guys, I'll ask you each, if you were not doing what you're doing now, and you obviously love what you're doing, and you're very skilled at it, and you're very talented gentlemen, what was Plan B? What was the other thing you would have been doing in your lives, Scott?
Well, since you asked me first, I'll tell you, I never, ever planned to do anything else. I've been doing this since I've been 10 years old. I'm lucky I'm still doing it. I'm not 10 anymore. I've been with my wife, Nancy, 45 years, and she still gets it. And if it wasn't for her, you know, all the years I've been on the road, 6 months here, 6 months there, she's been home taking care of the house, our daughter, the whole thing. That's how I'm able to do what I do. And I have to give her credit for that. But I can't imagine doing anything else. I don't want to do anything else. And I'm probably not any good at anything else, to tell you the truth. There's nothing I can do.
I heard you mow a mean lawn.
I do mow the lawn now that I'm home and off the road, but now we have a service too, so I don't even do that anymore.
You don't even do that now. How about you, Ron? What would Plan B have been?
You know, Jim, honestly, I don't know. You could say, oh, travel, maybe theater. But honestly, I was looking back at my yearbook. We were moving recently last year, and I took my yearbook, and I opened it up. And then on my yearbook, I put future music, period, music. So obviously from the time, and like Scott, from the time I was little, probably even littler than that, you know, I had older brothers. So when they were listening to whatever they were listening to, starting from the very late 50s into the early 60s, as a little kid, it was almost like I got the jump. So as a kid, I got to see the British invasion. When most of my peer was listening to Puff the Magic Dragon, I'm listening to the Beatles and the Day Part 5 and the Stones and the Kinks and blah, 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 and onward. So really, from a very early age, music was such a hold on me. It's not like I had one thing in mind and then got to be 13 or 14 and something else happened. It's pretty much been this.
How about you, Bobby? What would Plan B have been?
Okay, here, I got my drum set at 13. I went on the road at 14, and I never looked back.
There you go.
That is
I've
cool.
I've been on the road on and off the road since 14 years old.
Since 14.
I went to the Catskills and I opened up for Lou Rawls when I was 14, and I remember him shaking me on the head saying, "You're going to be great someday, kid." And I said, "I'm going to keep trying." And this is all I've ever done, and there's nothing else I'll ever do.
Lou Rawls, you'll never find. You're right.
That song wasn't out yet, you know.
Yeah.
Ding dong. Yeah.
This is like 1966, 65.
Wow. Yeah. And how about you, Rafe? What would Plan B have been for you?
Well, when I was a kid, I could have sworn I was going to play first base for the Mets. I realized that wasn't going to happen. And,
they could use them out now this season, Rafe. Call them, please.
All right. Okay.
We're suffering, Mets fans here. So you like baseball? You like sports?
Yeah. When I was a kid, not so much, not as much anymore. I don't know. I'm really lucky that I'm in this band and I get to do what we do, and I have an outlet for music that I write. I think it's great. I'm just really lucky. I don't know. I mean, maybe I would like to maybe do something like what you do. Maybe be a music journalist or something involved with videos if I wasn't a musician, but something in the music business.
What would you guys say? Now, there could be somebody watching right now who are really impressed by what they're hearing, and they know your background. They know that you guys have been doing this for a long time, and you love it, and you're responsible for so much music as the name droppers, but of course individually. What would you say to somebody that's watching who's thinking about pursuing their dream and taking this on, jumping into this industry now? What would you say to somebody who's watching this and like, wow, look at these guys. They love it. They get along. They're making great music. They have these phenomenal careers and all this music they've done with other people and the whole bit. How do I do it? And should I break into this? What would you say to somebody watching like that might give them that source of inspiration?
I would say do it for the love of the music. If you're doing it because you want to make money or you're doing it because for financial reasons, you're going to end up getting let down. There's going to be regrets. And So you really have to just be really devoted to the cause and what it is. And if you don't try to put the two together, because like I said, you there's room for letdown, and then you have regret, and then you don't care so much about the music.
Yeah. How about you, Ron?
I just had to agree with Rafe. As you come into this thing, the great philosopher Sylvester Stallone once said, when asked what they should do in this life, he said, pick something you like so much you don't even care if you get paid. That's what you should do for a living. And as we're all familiar with the other saying, if you like what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And you can't put it any better than that.
I like what you said the other night, Ronnie. Ronnie said, we don't get paid to perform, we get paid to set up.
Right.
Work.
You're
Set our
right.
equipment up, break our equipment down. When we're up on the stage, we're having the time of our lives,
Yeah.
I had a friend who used to give me readings. She moved out of the area, but she said it best. She said, when you're playing, that's when you're with the divine, and I can't argue with that. You're just having the time of your life.
That's right. It flows in and out of you. Exactly. Scott, what would you say to somebody who's watching and being inspired and thinking about, pursuing their dream?
Well, I can only do it from speaking from myself. I would have to say, if you really, really don't want to do anything else, you have to be prepared for failure, because you're going to fail. That's going to happen. You're not going to have it. You're not going to be at the top of the, king of the hill the first time out. But because I can't imagine doing anything else, I would, for me to say you should always have a backup, learn a second job or something, that's fine if you really don't have confidence in yourself. If you do, you take the shot. There's room for everybody to do this. It's, like I say, I go back to, I've been doing it for 50, 60, I don't want to say how many years, but I've also had a partner, my wife, who's been along with me on the ride, so that really helps. It really does, because otherwise I wouldn't have a normal life. You can do the same thing if you believe in yourself. If you believe in your song, if you don't believe in the songs, or if you don't think you're that good, why is anybody else going to think you're any good? You really have to think, I got something here, and I'm good at this, and I'm going to do it. I don't care what anybody says. And if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to support yourself. That would be great. But I never want to take a back seat and say, gee, I should have learned how to be a carpenter or something, whatever, just in case this didn't work, because then I'm taking time away from what I really want to do. This is all I want to do. This is all I've ever done. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Exactly right. And Bobby, what would you say to somebody watching who is inspired by this conversation and admiring you guys, and they're considering maybe picking up the guitar or working on that piano and getting out there, or, hitting the drums and pursuing this career of theirs?
Yeah, tell them forget it. Go into politics.
There's too many of us. Leave us alone. There's not enough pie for everybody.
Listen, when I started this thing, I realized this is all I'm ever going to do. I put blinders on, and I was fortunate enough to live Learjet to limousine and vice versa. And I've been to the mountain, and it was the greatest run of my life. And I'm still enjoying every minute of it. Even I may not be at Madison Square Garden, but to me, every minute I'm on stage, it's a blessing. And if you love it that much, then like Rafe, like everybody said, the money is not that important. Be it that you do have to, you have to make money. I mean, you got to live. So marry rich. No.
Good advice.
You'll never work a day in your life.
Think Yiddish and dress British, right, Bobby?
There you go. That's right.
Actually, that's a good line. I like that line.
I do. Okay.
You guys are the best. I don't want to keep you too much, because I know in a couple of days you've got the big release, and this is really awesome. It's terrific having you back here on our show. We really appreciate it. And we've had so many people commenting throughout the show, and we've been showing some of these comments. Hey, Maureen's watching in Arizona. She says Bobby for president.
Hey, we love it. There you go.
And Sherry's in Kansas. She says, thank you for being here, gentlemen. You guys are a hoot. and love the music. Good luck on all you do in the future. Best wishes on your album and your concerts as well. And
Thank you,
yet
Shirley.
another amazing song.
Thank you
And
so much, man.
Bobby, you crack me up. So awesome. You're all
It's all
mega
good.
talented. A standing ovation for you all. Kathleen in New York City says good stuff. Jane in Sweden is loving it as well. And everybody that's commenting here, we appreciate it. And Ed Daniels says these guys are great.
Thank you,
good.
Ed.
Yeah.
Ed
yeah.
We love it.
I'll
You know
see
Ed?
next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We-
Yeah, we're working with Ed next Tuesday.
That
Yeah,
is
great
awesome.
songwriter.
We're
Oh,
doing
that's
his new album called Collaborations. We're
Oh, you
backing up every song as the band. It's us, but it's a different singer. And Ed writes the songs. He's a really, really good guy. I'm
Is
glad
he
he's
also
tuning in.
Connecticut or is he somewhere else?
Connecticut.
Yeah,
He's a
no,
Connecticut
He's also
guy.
Connecticut. Wow.
guy.
Really cool. You guys are the best. Again, I don't want to keep it too long. A phenomenal conversation. Raph and Ron and Scott and Bobby, thanks so much for being with us here on the
Thank
show.
you, Jim.
As
Thank
I
you.
said last time, we'll keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime. Come back and see us. Say hi. Spread the word about our show. And congratulations on all the new music and all the cool things ahead. It's really I'm very happy for you guys. You're really a talented lot, and you're putting out some good music that makes you feel good. And that's what we need about now. We need a double dose of that. So keep it going. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jim.
Jim.
Thank you so much, Jim. Great to be
Uh,
on the show again.
All right.
Pleasure is all mine. And I hope you enjoyed the
Adios.
time with me as much as I have with you guys.
All right.
Yeah, we had a ball.
Good night.
All right, Bobby, you take care. And Ron, thank you for being with us as well, my friend. It's good to see
My
you
pleasure.
again.
Thanks.
You got it. And Scott,
Catch
thank
you
you
next
for
time.
being with us.
Absolutely. Big fun.
Next time I drink Coca-Cola, I'm going to think of you and a jingle.
Anytime you're on
I love-
Delta Airlines, American Airlines, yep, I did them all. Yeah.
I love jingles. We'll have to have you come back and talk about jingles, Scott.
Well, they paid for my first house. It was very nice.
I
Yeah,
heard the jingles
loved it
did
too.
that. You be well, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. And Rafe, thanks once again for working with us, putting this together, really. And I appreciate you wanting to premiere the music and everything on our show. You're a class act and really appreciate your time with us as well. And congratulations on everything.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been my pleasure. The guys had a great time, and we'll see you around.
Yes. And again, the namedroppers.net, N-E-T. Remember that, folks. .net is where you can find all the music. Congratulations on everything. And we'll talk again soon, my friend. Okay.
Okay, Jim.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a great night.
You too. And have a good time on the 14th too.
Thank you.
Take care.
See you.
As the name droppers here on the Jim Masters Show, we want to make sure that you do know again that it is .net, not .com. It's .net. So make sure you write that down. And thanks for all these great comments that have been coming in here. This was really great. If you joined us late, gang, we premiered some exclusives, some music that we showed, and some great video that was a world premiere. It hasn't been seen, and they wanted to premiere it here on JMS, and we really appreciate that. For those who are in the Connecticut area, the guys, you'll have an opportunity to actually meet them. They're having an album release celebration at the Cellar on Treadwell. That's in Hamden, Connecticut. For those of you not sure, Hamden is right next to New Haven. New Haven is where Yale University is, about an hour or so, maybe 45 minutes south of Hartford. Metro North from New York takes you right to New Haven. So, yeah, check it out. And did you know the Carpenters come from New Haven, and Norman Lear comes from New Haven, and Michael Bolton and some of these other names we've been talking about. So they're going to be there. Check that out. And yeah, and again, the other music we were talking about, Blue Diamonds, check that out. That was earlier. And then, of course, Starshine is the newest. Really great guys. Again, they have a great time together. When I wanted them to introduce themselves, usually instead of me doing like a 9-minute intro, because they really shared some incredible information about their individual backgrounds. I mean, they have worked on so much music with so many other artists and responsible for so much stuff that I think it's absolutely incredible. Really great having them on the show. And if you enjoyed this episode, we'll take a look at a couple more of the comments coming in. This is archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We've got hundreds of episodes with great guests, celebrity friends and guests who stop by JMS from television and film and music and sports, comedy, stage, Broadway, Hollywood, from all around the world. Check it all out. You can binge watch it at Jim Masters TV on the YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this episode, gang, here's what you do. Give it a thumbs up like on our YouTube channel. There's a like, thumbs up button. Click like. Share this link on your social media. Let everybody know you're enjoying these episodes. Leave a comment in the comments section on our YouTube channel, which is right under the episode. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. That really helps us continue to grow and share all these great episodes. If you enjoyed this and this was your first time watching, we welcome you to Lovelady Hall and the Jim Masters Show as well, our international audience of viewers. Again, one more time, we want to show you that this is their website. Write it down, check it out. There's music and photos and all kinds of cool things you can check out on the website, and make sure it's .net. I think I mentioned .com before, but scratch that. It's .net. And they'll cast a net of great music over you for sure once you hear their music. You got a little sample of it. If you joined us late, this will be archived. You can hear it again, the whole episode, on our YouTube channel. Let's put our hands together, everybody, and thank our friends from the Name Droppers joining us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. Great guys, super talented, and a world premiere here on JMS for all of you. A couple of comments coming in here from all around. Thank you very much, gang. Look at all these comments piling in. Kathleen in New York City, she says, thanks, Jim. Always bringing on the best. Have a great night. Yes, we'll be here tomorrow. You know who's with us tomorrow? Burt Ward. Burt Ward was Robin with Adam West on Batman. That Robin, Burt Ward. This is going to be his third return visit to the Jim Masters Show. Burt Ward, who played Robin on the original Batman, on TV from the 60s. He's going to be with us tomorrow here on the show. Thanks for all the comments. Let's see, Sherry here in Kansas. We're in the New York area here on the East Coast. These guys, they're in Connecticut. Thank you, Jim, for an absolutely wonderful show. These guys are fantastic. Thank you for all you do for the Lovelies and Lovelady Hall. Pleasure is all mine. Appreciate you being here. We also welcome, again, a lot of new people have been watching. Bella1313 is here. Lastis, have a great night, Jim, and everyone in the chat room. Good to see you as well. And Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Been fun listening to these young gentlemen. They're going to love hearing that. They might even print that comment out. I would. Love the music and comedy. Keep up the good work. And great show and guests. Very talented. Thanks, Jim. Absolutely. I agree, gang. Great show tonight. Thank you, guys, for being here tonight. Thank you, Jim. All of our pleasure. The Name Droppers and mine. Appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate all these comments. Jim Masters here. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. Come see us again. Don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and don't forget to love yourself and take care of yourself. And come by and see us again here on the Jim Masters Show Live series. We love having you here. Spread the word. Those of you who have commented and liking, sharing, subscribing, all the rest, we thank you so very, very much. It means the world to us. Again, come see us again. This is your host, Jim Masters. We'll see you on the Jim Masters Show. I'll be right here waiting for you. Be well and cheers.